Hello, my name is William Penn. Some of you may not recognize me though because recently I've gotten a haircut. The long hair was getting a little too hot and was hard to maintain. I was born on October 14th, 1644 in London, England. I actually spent most of my childhood in Essex, London though, and in Ireland where my father owned many estates. His name was William Penn too, and he was an English admiral. I spent 3 years at a school in Chigwell and then went to Christ Church, Oxford. I was a hard worker, talented oarsman, and I loved being outside, being adventurous, and playing sports. While I was at Christ Church, Oxford, I converted to Quakerism. I became very rebellious and aggressive, though. I would not wear the uniform the school provided, and I would rip it off the backs of the people that did wear the uniform. When I came home, my father was very upset and sent me off to France in hopes that I would not stay a Quaker. But when I returned home, I was still a Quaker, and he sent me off to Ireland to watch our estates there. In 1668, I wrote something called the Sandy Foundation Shaken. This was an attack upon the doctrine of the Trinity. I was thrown in jail for this, but while I was in jail, I wrote one of my most popular theological works called No Cross, No Crown. In 1670, my father died. He left me an estate of 1,500 euros a year. In 1671, I was thrown back in jail for preaching and not taking oath in court. In 1672, when I was out of jail, I married Galima Maria Springett. Now, the king owed my father money, but he had died, so I was the rightful owner of that money. But instead of giving me money, he gave me territory in the New World. In 1681, I received some land in the New World. Now, I thought I would call the land Sylvania because of all the forests, but King Charles II had a sense of humor and wanted Penn to be the prefix to the name, thus the name Pennsylvania or Penn's Woods. In August 1682, I sailed to the New World with some of my friends to explore my new territory. I envisioned this place where people of different religious backgrounds could live together in harmony. In fact, I want to be a civil society of men enjoying the highest possible degree of freedom and happiness. This land was given to me by the king, so this land was mine. But there were Indians living on the land, so I paid them a fair price for the land. While I was in Pennsylvania, I planned a city. I wanted to call it Philadelphia, or the City of Brotherly Love. I returned back to England in 1686, and it was the end of Charles II's reign. I was able to liberate more than 1,200 Quakers that were imprisoned because of their religious beliefs. Now, people didn't really like me in England. I was accused of treason twice, and in 1690 I was accused of conspiracy and sent to jail. However, my friends investigated and were able to prove that I was innocent. In 1699, I went back to the New World and was pleased to find that Pennsylvania was doing great. I stayed there for 2 years and became good friends with all the Indian tribes. In late 1701, I headed back to England. My financial advisor named Ford had taken most of my money, and I was not able to turn profit on Pennsylvania. This left me penniless, and when I died, I had no money. I died in Berkshire on July 30th, 1718. Now, let's take a look at how I relate to the Quaker testimonies or spices. S, the first letter, stands for simplicity. Now, when my father sent me off to France in hopes that the extravagant French life would change my mind about being a Quaker, he was hoping that seeing all these fancy people would want to make me become fancy and not become a Quaker. However, this extravagant life just made me want to become simple. P, the second letter in spices, well, that stands for peace. And while I may not have been the most peaceful child or grown-up, I believed in peace. I knew that people should have the freedom of being whatever religion they wanted to, and that would create peace in the world. I, the third letter in spices, stands for integrity, and I had a lot of integrity. When I returned to England and freed 1,200 Quakers from jail, that showed great integrity. Now, If I didn't have integrity, I might not have. It was hard work. I could have just stayed in Pennsylvania and had a good time. C, the fourth letter in Spices, stands for community, and I believe there should be a strong community in Pennsylvania. In fact, I wanted Pennsylvania to be a civil society of men enjoying the highest possible degree of freedom and happiness. I was okay with women being there too, I just happened to say men. E, the fifth letter in Spices, stands for equality. I believe in equality because I wanted Pennsylvania to be an equal place that everybody could enjoy. I did not care what religion people were, I just wanted everybody to feel equal instead of persecuted or feeling less than. S, the sixth and final letter of Spices, stands for stewardship or community. I was given a great amount of land from the king, and I could have sold it and made a great profit, but I wanted to serve the community. I made Pennsylvania so people could live in harmony and practice whatever religion they wanted to.